All right, we're here with head men's basketball coach Tae Norwood after tonight's close one. Pulled out a 66-63 victory over Cal State East Bay. Jacks moved to 12-11 overall, 10-7 in conference play, getting a little bit of cushion as they push towards that conference playoff hunt. Coach, just kind of first off, just give us your initial thoughts coming off of a really close win, a nail biter tonight.
Well, I knew it would be a tough one coming in here. They played us well down there at East Bay early in the year, about 2 months ago. I know the score said we won by like 12 or 13 points, but that was really a close game if you look at the box score. We didn't pull away in that game until probably the last minute and a half of that game. So I knew they were going to play hard. I knew they well coached. They're playing for something. Like I told my team, I said, they're 2 games out of that last spot. So they thinking is I'm going to come here and beat Humboldt, beat Sonoma, we all be tied up. You know what I'm saying? And they gave us everything they had. They jumped out on us early. They had some guys who had some terrific nights. You know, Pasco and Deroli played really well. We wanted to limit Grady Lewis, and exactly what we did. I think he got 6 total shots up in the game, and we got him in foul trouble. So we did our job by trying to take away something that they do real well, and credit to them, they had some other guys that step up and make plays. Super proud of my guys and the resiliency. We were down 5 with, I think, a minute and a half to go in the game and was able to force a key turnover, make some free throws down the stretch, and then Malik Davis with the big layup late to give us the lead, and then 2 free throws to push the lead back up. So credit to Malik. It's the second game in a row where he played really well and knocked down free throws down the stretch.
Yeah, and just talk a little more about that for me. Just starting the game, kind of starting in a hole, so to speak, playing from that deficit, battling back to take the lead at the half, and then kind of holding on to a really tenuous lead going into the second half, and then losing that, and then coming back again. Just talk about the ability for guys like Malik and Marlon to get to the line in crunch time, get key free throws down the stretch. It's kind of been a trend the last couple games a little bit.
Well, the game, like I said, is a battle of runs, you know what I'm saying? So they had a run, we had a run. It's usually the team with the last run that wins the game. We've put in a dribble drop motion offense late. I didn't put it into after Christmas, so now teams are just having a chance to see it on video. And we've done a good job of getting in a double bonus early, in the half. I think we was in a double bonus maybe with 6 or 7 minutes left in the game. And that's just us really, buying into what we're trying to do, being patient with it and turning the corner and jump stopping and kicking it out and then turning the corner again. So, we got a bunch of guys that can do a number of different things with the basketball. Marlon keeps you off balance with his ability to shoot it and drive it, along with Ian. And I thought, particularly Malik did a really good job of really spacing that floor and driving to the lane and then concentrating and finishing at the basket. And if he didn't finish, he got fouled. And then once again, just Malik just stellar from the free throw line, 6 for 6, Marlon Ruffin 12 for 13. Those 2 guys took 19 free throws and made 18. You get a performance from your 2 starting guards like that, you're gonna win a lot of games.
And talk a little bit too about, to me at least, just from the eye test, it seemed like Cam Timmons had a bit of an impact out there tonight as well. Just from the way, at least to start off the second half, the way he was able to crash the board. I know he didn't have as many rebounds on paper, but guys like Cam Timmons, Thomas Nelson starting that second half and really clogging up those passing lanes. Just talk about the impact of guys like that and how they were able to just impact the game for you guys.
Cam is a little banged up with his foot. He hurt it at Chico State, so he's hobbling around there trying to give us everything he got. I thought Thomas Nelson did a really good job off the bench, just coming in and playing his role. He was 3 for 3, 2 for 2 from the 3-point line. Rebounded the ball pretty well with 7 boards. He gave us the much needed lift that we needed from post presence. Josh went out early with a little rib contusion, and Ken was hobbled. So it was next man up syndrome. We played small for the majority of the game in the second half, and that's because they went 5 out too. We got Grady Lewis in foul trouble, so we played chess. Me and Coach from East Bay played chess. Every time he took Grady out, I took Cam out. Every time he picked Grady back in, I picked Cam back in. So we wanted to match up according to personnel, and we're fortunate to get this win. But like I told my guys, good teams find a way to win.
And so, yeah, this is your second win in a row, 3 games above 500 in conference. Gives you a little bit of a little bit of separation in the conference stands, but still just as close. Does this give you just a little bit of ease of mind going into the game on Saturday and a little bit of confidence going into that game against Dominguez?
No. Hey, I'm a nervous wreck in all the games. No, in all honesty, I'm just joking. We take them one at a time. We'll prepare the same way. So we're always a confident group. Those guys probably have too much confidence, I think, sometimes. And sometimes that might bite us in the foot. But we'll be prepared for them, and we'll get ready for them tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, and tomorrow evening later on as well. And come in here on Saturday and try to put another win in the column.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Coach, I just wanted to maybe start off with, I just felt like your team was locked in a way that I really didn't feel like maybe I've even seen all season. I just felt like at a level as far as their awareness of loose balls, their awareness of rebounds, their passing lanes. And for the most part, I think even executing the offense against an East Bay team that definitely has a defensive identity. I guess I'm just wondering, what do you feel like went into that kind of just what felt like maybe a next level of focus coming into this game?
Well, they know what we're playing for. I made that very clear on the board. Tonight, I told them, you go out here and you protect the home court tonight, and you get this one, and then you get the one on Saturday, and you probably clinch a playoff berth. So you make sure we leave everything out there on the floor, defensively and offensively. From a defensive standpoint, diving on those balls, taking charges, getting in the passing lanes, talking on defense, and offensively, for the most part, giving up good shots for great shots, getting on the old glass. So, we got our challenge. We got our work cut out for us. We still got 5 more games left, and we're taking one game at a time and try to put together a series of wins. And hopefully, our resume is good enough at the end of the year to get us in the NCAA tournament.
One other thing I just wanted to highlight, there was maybe a moment in the second half where, first and foremost, the game seemed to be officiated, I would just say loosely. I just thought they allowed you guys, allowed both teams to play and play physical. And I know there was some frustration in that second half kind of early on for Ian after a shot and also for Marlon. And you had a bit of a tense exchange maybe with him, but it felt like they responded and your team really embraced the physicality. I'm just kind of curious a little bit about what was maybe that conversation and other conversations like to get your team to really embrace the physicality and have success with that type of a game.
Well, for the most part, I thought it was a very well officiated game. It was officiated like a college game should be officiated, and they were consistent. They let us play for the most part. And I always say when it comes to refereeing, I never get on the refs. I always say only bad teams get on the refs because a foul in the first half is a foul in the second half. So if you don't call it in the first half, don't start blowing your whistle and calling it in the second half. And I thought there was a consistent group out there, and they let us play, and I got no problem with that.
Mm-hmm. And I would agree with that. But and even then, I just thought maybe one aspect of that is that there was Malik and Marlon in particular, as alluded to. They just did good job of going up strong. It felt like to try and embrace that physicality and sometimes finish through contact without a call, sometimes draw a call. I guess I was just wondering, what goes into them being able to really, I guess, embrace that and be good about going up strong and trying to draw contact.
It's funny you say that because if you notice, if you see those guys when they score the basketball, if you really listen closely to the bench, they be like player development. So we go through a player development sequence when we just attacking the basket and I dribble drive over and over and over. And it's continuous, it's every day we do the same. We start off our play development with the same drill. So when they do individual moves like that or they do moves that we do in play development, you can hear the bench going, play development. That's their own little personal joke. But, we practice it. We practice it on a regular basis, just finishing at the basket, finishing through contact, finishing moving the ball while you're in the air, different things that really could, happen in the game. Mm-hmm. So we try to make that play development session real life, or as real life as it can be, from a play development standpoint. So credit to our guys. They play hard. They didn't quit. We were down 5, and we found a way to win. Mm-hmm. And I'm proud of them.
Mm-hmm. Maybe one last thing on this game is just it seems like a point of emphasis that you talked about, and maybe a point that was a struggle at times earlier in the year was closing out games. How good is it to be able to build that? You said your team doesn't lack for confidence. Just build that practice or that habit of being able to close out a close game like this.
I like to say we're getting better. I think they're paying attention a little bit more. But in all honesty, at the end of the game, I'm really calling more of the sets and slowing it down a little bit more. Where I used to let them play freely and make decisions on their own because I wanted them to grow and learn out there game to game. And we just wasn't able to finish games. So, like I told those guys, I gave you plenty of chances to finish the game at your attrition, and we just ain't getting it done. So now I got to take over some of those situations at the end, and that's kind of what we did today. We instead of just pushing the transition when we had numbers, or we may not have had numbers, we slowed it down and ran offense and had East Bay have the guard for 30 seconds in the shot clock.
And then just going into Dominguez Hills, I mean, I know you guys played them once, and I guess just what are some of the things that coming out of that performance that you'll take away, and maybe what are some changes that maybe need to be? I mean, just playing a team second time around, just what are your thoughts coming out of that?
We played them. They were I think they were our second conference game on the year, so it's been almost, I would say, 3 months since we've seen them. I'm gonna watch the film tonight for my game. And I'll watch a little bit of film on the last 2 games, and we'll make some adjustments accordingly. What they did in November, not necessarily what they're doing in February. But I'll definitely watch our game and see some of the things that we had success with, and try to duplicate that same type of scheme, and some of the things we didn't do well, and try to get better at, as we move forward, and especially get ready for this game on Saturday.
Got it. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.